The I-95 Turnpike corridor is one of the busiest roads in northern New England. With that kind of traffic, inevitably comes incidents. As first responders, you'll be required to secure, service, and clear incident scenes along this roadway. To do that properly, you should adhere to the following rules, practices, and procedures.
These practices, which we will introduce to you in this video and explain further in your training, were developed by the Maine, New Hampshire Traffic Incident Management Committee. This meeting of police, fire chiefs, and agencies along the I-95 Turnpike corridor took place as a result of a 2010 post-incident review.
At any incident scene, there are three major priorities. First is life safety. You need to create a safe zone to ensure the safety of those involved, including first responders, and attend to the injured.
Next is incident stabilization. You need to minimize the impact of the incident on the flow of traffic while still maintaining that protective buffer zone for the safety of you and your fellow responders.
Last is traffic restoration. You need to restore traffic to normal conditions as soon as it is safe to do so.
Every year, police officers and emergency responders are killed by inattentive, distracted, or impaired drivers. A small crash scene can become a major incident, and those tasked with helping can find themselves in need of help. Adhering to these priorities by using the rules, practices, and procedures you will learn in this video and during your training will assure you provide the necessary assistance to those in need and assures that you make it home safely at the end of your shift each day.
So what are you going to do when the call goes out?
Remember, your first priority is life safety. Only official emergency vehicles should respond to incidents on the highway. Official vehicles should utilize entering and departing ramps to reverse their direction of travel. Use of the median or paved U-turn locations should be reserved for life-threatening emergencies and extenuating circumstances. No official vehicles or apparatus will travel against the flow of normal traffic unless they receive specific approval from the Maine State Police.
If you're the first to arrive at the scene, your decisions, especially the position of apparatus and vehicles, are critical and are going to impact the entire operation.
When you arrive, keeping life safety in mind, you need to position your vehicle to create a protective buffer zone that covers the entire incident scene. It is important to create that buffer zone and turn your vehicle's wheels away from the crash. That way, if your vehicle is struck, it will not be pushed into that protective buffer zone. The larger the vehicle, the better for the creation of the buffer zone. Best practice is to position your vehicle so that you can exit from the shadow or upstream side of the vehicle. At times, this may not be possible. However, it is imperative to always keep a vehicle between you and any oncoming traffic. If there is only one lane affected by the incident, or if the incident is on the shoulder only, you should position your vehicle to take one additional lane for a workspace whenever possible. If the incident is completely off the paved area of the highway, you should attempt to park your vehicle only in the breakdown lane whenever possible. Under no circumstances should you allow traffic to flow around both sides of an incident scene. Once you have created a protective buffer zone, cancel any warning lights and headlights that may impair the vision of traffic approaching from the opposite direction. Now begins the work of incident stabilization. You should advise your respective dispatch center of the exact location of the incident. Be clear and size up the scene for any towing or recovery needs. Also, be sure to know and follow the correct lane identification language.
On I-95 in your response area, lane 1 is the lane furthest to the left, lane 2 is the middle lane, and lane 3 is the lane furthest to the right. Crashes that are contained or include the paved area to the right of lane 3 are considered to be in the right shoulder.
All first responders should wear high visibility safety apparel meeting class 2 or 3 from ANSI 107-2004 or public safety vests meeting ANSI 207-2006. At this point, more responders should be arriving to assist you. All agencies responding to incidents on the highway should utilize the National Incident Management System, NIMS, and a Unified Incident Command.
With more personnel and vehicles arriving, it is important to establish as soon as possible the essential 5 components of an incident scene.
An advance warning area for approaching traffic. A transition area to divert traffic around the incident scene. the buffer space you began to create when you first arrived at the scene, and that should now be bolstered by the appropriate on-scene vehicles that have subsequently arrived. The active workspace. And lastly, a termination area where traffic is restored to normal. Quick and efficient creation of these 5 components is essential to the safety of the scene and for the optimal clearance and restoration of normal traffic. That is your final priority. Through the rules, practices, and procedures developed by the Maine, New Hampshire Traffic Incident Management Committee, you will be given the tools to help restore traffic to normal conditions as soon as it's safe to do so. Of course, this is only the barest outline of your responsibilities as first responders on the I-95 Turnpike Corridor. However, if you adhere to these rules, practices, and procedures, you greatly increase your safety, the safety of your fellow first responders, and the safety of incident victims. In addition, following these rules, practices, and procedures will mitigate the impact to traffic and allow the restoration of normal traffic flow in an optimal amount of time.
So always remember, safety first, then scene stabilization, then traffic restoration. The rules, practices, and procedures you will learn in your training will ensure each incident has a minimum effect on the free flow of traffic, and more importantly, that we all make it home to our families and loved ones at the end of the day.